Hey, been a while. Ain't that pretty? Carol Brass. Model, who the fuck knows? That's what you get, folks, for making whoopee. What a nice old tune. Hey, yes, I'm back playing trumpet again. It's um, it's been a challenging several months for me. Kind of for a while, really. The last few years has been a health roller coaster, to put it mildly. But and I thought I was done this time with this beast. Thought I was completely done. Um, if you've seen some of my videos the last few years, I retaught myself how to play with the left hand. And I've been shut down for various and sundry reasons. I had all relates to nerve damage, which all goes back to pinched nerves in my neck. That's the source. That's the scene of the crime. Excuse me. Violent trumpet playing. You do that for about 35 years. There's other, there's been other health issues over the years. So it's not just being a violent lead player, if you will. But that's definitely been a huge factor. Had some long talks with my doctors, and, that's basically what's up. And that's okay. I'm not done, clearly, right? This is a Carol Brass. What is the model number? 5 something. I can't read it. From the nice fellows over at Austin Custom Brass. Shout out Trent Austin. Those guys are great. And I'm on a 2C, what they call a 2C now. This used to be what they call a Mount Vernon 3C, which were always kind of big anyway. So it's a 2C. I hope I'm looking at the right place on my phone. Yeah, I think I am. Over there. You'd think I would have figured this out by a 50-some video, however many videos this is. Anyway, where was I? I'm on my third rebuild in, basically 3 years. The first one I was shut down for, maybe 8 months because of when I lost the dexterity in my right hand. And the brain is an amazing thing because it's all still in there. It's all still in the old noggin and has mostly translated to the left. I can still play parts of the Aratunian. Of course, I haven't tried that in a while. Anyway, but this 2 summers ago, when I had this emergency neck surgery, words you should never have to string together, emergency neck surgery. I had 4 fused discs in my neck, and I had put stuff on social media about it. Had an incredible outpouring of support and love from y'all, and I greatly appreciate it. I really do. That one, I thought I was done again, and then I just didn't feel like I was done. This last one, I've had started having health problems last fall. I had some gallbladder issues, found out I had atrial fibrillation, and then started having some really bad episodes with my heart. A few weeks ago, I had a cardiac ablation. A few weeks before that, I had a cardiac conversion, which is, remember on TV, they used to have the paddles. You can see, bam, we got him back. That's not how they do it anymore. They put a big sticker on you. They had to, unfortunately, they had to shave my chest, which, that was a sexy look, let me tell you. They shaved my chest and did a cardio conversion, and that helped put me back in what they call sinus rhythm. Sorry, I keep looking at the wrong side. I look at the red button is the problem. It's a nice big red record button. It's over there, dummy. Whew. Anyway, they did a cardiac, not a catheterization. Sorry, it gets emotional talking about all this stuff. Because heart stuff has always scared the shit out of me. My dad died of a stroke. And anyway, I've now had the cardiac conversion, and ablation. Sorry, that was the word I couldn't come up with. And honestly, I start talking about it and I get emotional. But the ablation is not fun. But they go in through the groin area, and we're in TMI territory. But what they do is they go in and they use, it's not like a laser. It's, I don't even know all the details. It doesn't matter. They get your heart back in sinus rhythm, and it's been good. I've been feeling more energy. So, one thing at a time. Unfortunately, last week I had to have emergency eye surgery because it turns out I had some partly detached retina in my right eye. Thank you, Costco eye doctor caught this. The Costco, man, I love that place. But their eye doctor said, you need to be seen right away. Anyway, it's long story short, there's a lot of retinal damage from a lot of years of badly treated or untreated diabetes. Diabetes is no joke, let me tell you. So, I'm working on myself, Thank God we live in a time we can fix some of these things, or at least, there's some things they can try to do. And so I'm working on myself. And this time I really thought I was done with the trumpet. I really thought, well, okay. I have had, anybody who knows me knows I'm not a big ego person, but I've had a wildly successful career. I just have. A lot of people probably don't know this, but mid-90s, I had a chance to, well, I don't know how big of a chance it was, but I was on the cusp of a move to New York. My teacher, Chris, had gone there, and he was going to help me, and one thing led to another, and, life happens. And, the ultimate takeaway was, St. Louis deserved to have good musicians, too. That was kind of what I fell back on. And you know what? That became more than a fallback. That became my calling. St. Louis has an incredible music community. There's so much great music happening in St. Louis. And I have been lucky to be, a little cog in that, system, if you will. I've always just been the worker bee trumpet player, right? And I've carved it out here in St. Louis. And I really thought, I've done it, okay? Especially with having to, losing your dexterity. I mean, that's, okay, that's game over, right? Well, no, not apparently not. And so this last time was the most serious, I thought, okay, because I was playing a show in October and I could not finish the run. So I was literally not physically able to finish gigs at that point, playing a show. Could not finish the run. And I thought, oh, man. I swore to myself I was never going to be one of those players who stuck around past their expiration date. Oh, I swore that years ago because I witnessed that firsthand quite a lot. And it's frustrating, demoralizing to the other musicians around it, And I get it. People want to just stay, they want to stay in their place and, keep doing the gigs. But anyway, long story short is, I'm building my chops back. I really am. But I'm taking a different approach than before. I'm not worrying about chops. Chops is a huge part of being a lead player. And it's not just, more fundamentally than that, it's just more my thinking about the trumpet. By the way, I'll play a little more, but I'm mostly just here talking. I just wanted to kind of update you nice folks who pay attention. I haven't posted a video in a long time, but I thought, hey, why not? I've had some friends reach out, and so why not? Taking a different approach. The trumpet doesn't have to mean lead trumpet. And when I was a youngster coming up, there were some older players who previously had been, the first call people. And, we're still on the scene, but in a different role. And maybe that's the way I'm going, and that's fine. I still feel like I have a lot to contribute. I said, those 30, well, let's see, I started playing gigs really seriously in 91. So that's 35 years ago. 35 years worth of gigs doesn't just go away. It doesn't just vanish. That's all here. And, I can still play. Now, it's a little rough around the edges. I got a different setup here. I love having a copper horn. Isn't that pretty? It's a different sound. Just a different vibe for me setup-wise. I'm not worrying about like a straight commercial kind of setup. Because again, I'm not going after chops. It's always been, especially with time off and you're trying to get back to play lead. You got to get your chops, and I mean like the chops that you can sustain the kind of register the lead players find themselves in mostly, which is, upper register and the Rock of Gibraltar kind of trumpet playing, right? The lead player, you always have to be there, and that requires a lot of muscle and a lot of strength. And I'm not worrying about that at this juncture. It's more about let's just play, let's play, because fundamentally, I'm just trying to get the joy in it back, because this was a joyous thing for a long time. And the problem is that at some point trumpet became merely transactional. It meant, trumpet, I have to go play a rehearsal. I got to go play a gig. I got to go, So, and when anything becomes just transactional, like it's about making money, period, end of discussion, that's just saps the joy out of it, frankly. And, I played for years and years and years. Clearly I got joy from this because I practiced so freaking much. I mean, I'm no joke, a period from about 87. I started college at Webster in the fall of 87, and it was around that time I had started practicing minimum of 4 hours a day. Minimum of 4, most days more like 5, 6. Some days it's 8. I mean, it was just, and I went all the way through, went to SIU for a couple of years, for where I eventually got my degree, through mid-90s, really. I mean, I was practicing bare minimum 2 hours a day, and more like 3 or 4, to the detriment of my social life, to all sorts of, but I sure as hell loved it. I mean, clearly I did, because I was doing it all that much. But, as you start to work more, and long story short, the minute it becomes a transactional experience, then, man, it just sucks all the joy out of it. It just saps it. So I guess I could try to center myself. I have 0 production values here, folks. 0. Absolutely none. It's just me and my iPhone and my horn and me talking. So I hope you're not bored of all this. But I guess I had a realization with this channel and with trumpet, and I had a friend of mine came through. We weren't really friends before it, but we are now. Mark Oates is a just good cat, and he was playing lead trumpet on Funny Girl. And he said an amazing thing. He's a fantastic player, by the way. And that was a bucket list to get to play Funny Girl. Um, Incredible experience. And Mark just, Jesus, he just sounded so great on that. But he said something really, it was a light bulb moment. And granted, this is a couple years ago, but he said, consider myself kind of a failure as a teacher. Just being honest, I don't know how else to be. Because I've just never been very organized and never been good at, the weekly structure thing. I've sure benefited from my teachers, but me recreating that, me trying to be that kind of teacher, has always been a failure for me. But Mark had an interesting comment because he got hip to my YouTube channel, this channel, during that run of Funny Girl, and he came back the next day. He's like, "Man, he liked how like sort of easygoing manner that I had." And he's like, "You must be a teacher somewhere. You must be." I mean, because of he felt, my manner was approachable and seemed, and I said, "No, I don't teach." Except for sort of the occasional one-off lesson in my living room, or once in a blue moon a video lesson or something. But I don't have any organized teaching. I'm not on staff anywhere. And what I kind of realized eventually is that, this video channel is sort of my version of teaching. I'm teaching what I know, the players I love, and all these videos I talked about, all different trumpet players like Harry James and Louis Armstrong and, and such, and Snooky Young, but just different things about playing the horn. This is, I guess, sort of my version of being a trumpet teacher, if you will. I was sure the beneficiary of some spectacular teaching. Chris Jodis was, peerless when it came to trumpet playing and teaching. His teacher, Bob Ciccarini, luckily has been a mentor of mine for a long time. And I have been blessed with great teachers and trumpet mentors. And anyway, I guess all I'm trying to say is this little video channel here serves as my way of teaching, if you will. I'm that kind of trumpet teacher, I guess. It goes back to the playing thing. I think I still have things to offer. Feel like I'm not done yet, believe it or not. I really thought I was. I mean, third time in 3 years on a rebuild. And I'm, again, it's pretty rough, but I am making a sound. And, love this new setup. Because it's different. Man, that's the thing. It's really different. Maybe, I don't know if you can hear Mango. She's unhappily mewing because I was playing. Anyway, enough of me just gabbing and gabbing. Thank you to those of you who are still paying attention. If you haven't tuned out or stopped paying any attention to this channel, I would not be surprised because I haven't done anything with it. Anyways, so I'm still in there, gonna try to post some more when I think about stuff, trumpet-wise. For now, let's finish up some of the Making Whoopee. That's an old song. Kind of similar to Ain't Misbehaving a little bit. Anyway, love you guys. I'm going to play a little more. As I always say, let's see how that goes.